What is going on, everybody? It's me, Haiku. I'm back again. Another vlog, another situation, another talk, another moment of life. Oh, man. Just some things to talk about. A whole bunch of crap is going on in regards to the community. Just small stuff, man. People fighting. Um, I happened to catch one of the live feeds where they had like Westcott Crypto and Marco in there, and then RG3 was in there, and this is a couple of days ago. But apparently, I mean, they were going back and forth, just cussing, yelling at each other. Man, it was very disrespectful. Regardless of the fact, I guess I'm just here to say, because the title is of this particular vlog. You know, it's not too late. It's not too late to get in, like, to Hex. It's not too late, man. And one of the comments that left, because I left that, I was like, I was watching it, and then I was like, man, this is just negative. And I think they went like six hours in the panel, just back and forth, cussing, disrespect, whatever. But one of the guys, he was like, you shouldn't be on Twitter if you don't have the money to invest. You need to not be on Twitter. And I'm like sitting there, I was thinking like, man, okay, I found out about crypto through Coinbase. That was my introduction. Coinbase put SHIB in front of my face. Okay, so that was my start. But I didn't start learning more about true DeFi until I got involved with all of these folks, man. Like most of the Hexicans that I have been involved with since Hex has the strongest community, period. Those are the people that like got me into decentralized finance. It showed me what wallets do as far as like your keys and how to access your keys and how to keep control of your keys. But the one thing I disagreed with is just like him saying like, oh, you got to have XYZ to get into crypto, man. Because even though I'm following all these folks, and even though I have a couple thousand or whatever to throw at cryptocurrency, in the same way, I feel that for you or for the average working person, like I'm still that average working person. Like I do this, on the side. Whether my music, whether it's the investing, with cryptocurrency in Hex, like these things are things that I do outside of work, because I still have to go to work. I still have to, I still got to show up and punch the clock. A lot of these Hexicans and the guys that are talking, they don't have to show up and punch the clock, because they got their bag already for the most part, so they can put in hundreds of thousands of dollars. And what it honestly reminds me of is like Bitcoin maxis talking down to like ETH people, and then like ETH people are like talking down to us and saying we're a scam, and now it's like we have this microcosm of a community within Hex. It's just like, oh, XYZ. And so I'm just here to tell you, as far as Hex, man, it is not too late. I know we just had like this recent pump up. Like, yeah, it was great. And so if you had have gotten, yeah, of course, down here you could have put in $100, which at the time I think $100 could have gotten you around 12,000 to 10,000 Hex. You would have made a profit of $80. Maybe not, maybe a little more. So if you were to put in $100 now, of course, you're only going to get 6,000. I mean, we just did that 50% move up, and it almost never fails. Every time I put in a stake in Hex, my position doubles. Or it's like whenever I put a stake in, then the price of Hex just moves crazy. If I buy a liquid and sit there, like, it don't do anything. So I'm kidding. Honestly, actually, obviously, I'm kidding, but I was just thinking, like, next time I put a stake in, I'm just going to put a quote or a message. Like, hey, I put in a stake. Just Hex is getting ready to explode, because every time I stake it, it goes up. But regardless of that, man, I mean, if you have like $100, $500, man, if you got $50, $50 might be hard. I'm going to show you some things here that you can do to kind of help offset the system, in a way, not completely get around it, but to offset the system. So anyway, I would say just starting out, you don't have to have thousands of dollars. I mean, because Hex right now, in my honest opinion, this is just my opinion with this vlog, man, and for you guys that are tuning in, that follow me, anywhere in this range, okay, this is PHEX, okay, I'm on PX, 1, because it's cheaper, 2, because it's cheaper, and 3, because it's cheaper. Like, to unstake, to stake, it's just cheaper to do it on PulseChain. Ethereum is a rich man's coin. Like, I like how dollar cost crypto said it's for land-owning whites only. Land-owning rich whites only. No, but no, Ethereum and on these other platforms, they got wealth, man. If you can get to PulseChain, it's cheap. So honestly, anywhere in this area, whether the price is 1 cent, whether the price is double, of a sixth of a cent or a tenth of a cent, whether it's 2 cents, heck, whether it's 3 cents, anywhere here is a good time to get in. Like it's still an opportunity, so you're not late. You might have missed out on a double, right, for your $100 right here. But at the same time, you still have an opportunity to dollar cost average your way now, since we're at the lows of the market and we're in the bull market. We are in the bull market. So it's not too late to get in. The average cost as far as like the benefits when it starts getting outside of those ranges is once we get over like 3 cents. Because once price like pushes past there, in my opinion, like you're past the point of maximum return. A lot of people bought here. A lot of people are buying here. Some people are still buying here. Like it's still an opportunity. I mean, even if the price from this point sells out and just does something like this, right? And just kind of this still a buying opportunity. It's still a massive opportunity for the entire ecosystem. And of course, I'm just saying ecosystem. I mean Hex, I mean PLSX, and I mean PLS. Those are the ones I'm going to push. Those are the ones I'm going to talk about because if you're just starting out, cryptocurrency comes with a lot of volatility, a lot of losses. It comes with a lot of risk. So this is not something where, to that point of investing, it's not something you take the rent money and you're like, oh man, if I put $500, it'd be worth $1,000. I'll be able to take care of this and this and that's not the thought you want to have. So if you have a couple of hundred laying around, or if you have 1,000, it's got to be a couple of hundred or $1,000 that you don't necessarily need that month or even that year. Like it's just got to be money you can put aside and be like, okay, cool. Or if it's, because that's my motto. And like personally, I have a family. Like I have an obligation to my family to take care of them, my kids, my wife, and so my first contract is not the Hex contract. It's to the people that I'm responsible for. So I can't just like go into crypto and just be like, oh, let me just take this savings and I'm gonna put it all in. No, I don't ever do that. And you should not ever put yourself in a position where your rent money or your livelihood money, I like to say, is on the line. So that's one thing I agree with. But what I don't agree with is basically saying you shouldn't be on Twitter because you don't have thousands of dollars, man. Twitter is the heartbeat of cryptocurrency sentiment. I mean, you'll find out about other projects failing, or that are fallen, or that are going to break out, like things like Luna, FTX. Those major things that hit the news media, like it was hitting Twitter raw data because people were personally affected by it. So if you went to like your home, or you went to the feed and you look over here with what's happening, people started posting, oh man, I'm going through this, I'm having issues, oh my gosh, I can't, you can see it. So I look at Twitter more as like a sentiment, and you really have to stay true to yourself. You can't, like, for instance, there's a lot of influencers and they got good information. I got tons of good information from people like Marco, like RG3, like Optimus Keptron, this guy here. There's a lot of people that have been around and they've stuck around, and then there's people that have flip-flopped. And so you kind of got to you have to surround yourself around good people, but at the same time, you can't just buy everything. You gotta have some, what's the word I'm looking for? You gotta have some personal conviction, and you gotta be true to yourself. So whether it's Hex, PLS, or PLSX, hey, do those things. I'm not pushing anything else to you. Of course, PulseChain itself and any blockchain is a casino. Like, there's stuff out there you can go get. But I know, like, even Hex, like, you could buy right here and the price literally could do that. We're technically, in my mind, we're already at zero, but you have to look at it from a risk perspective and make realistic decisions, right? Is that money that you're willing to lose? If that $100, if I took it from you and I burned it up, like, could you take that? Would you be able to stomach that? Because the stuff that is coming, that nobody really talks about or they're really ready for are like the major gains, man, like the sickening major gains. And a lot of folks have really, really low price expectations. So one of the just like one of those things like hold on a second because I gotta pull this up. I gotta pull this up. All right, so I'm back after a brief message of darkness where you thought I was gone. I'm still here. I'm still here. Had a couple of bookmarks wanted to run through. So what I'm going to is the Genesis chart on the ETH Hex system. Okay, it's nothing against EHEX, but again, ETH is always ETH is a rich man's coin. Bitcoin is a rich man's coin. They got wine and they're dining on that stuff, man. Um, this is the Genesis Hex on basically TradingView, where the last top was, if you were going to call it, say 51 cent, 52 cents, 51 cents, right? So anywhere in here, in this little area, could be a good buy for EHEX, but it's expensive. That's why I'm not messing with it. Like I have stakes on Ethereum Hex that are dying because the gas fees to end the stake are more than the stake costs when I put in. Essentially, I bought like these little boxes. I bought that top. Like I was buying here because everybody and their mom was like, "Oh man, Hex is going to the moon. This is the best thing you got to buy." Yada 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 yada. So I'm living proof that even if you know about something good, you could still buy at the wrong time. Most people DCA'd all the way down. So they've been DCAing on all these lows. As price starts to moving up, they're going to be taking profits. It's going to, it'll be a healthy chart. They'll take profits at certain points. But at the same time, like I'm saying in a bull market, if we go back up to like 40 cents on EHEX, right? Do you really think $1.50 is the max, like a 2x from the top? That doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't. I think people have post-traumatic stress when they're thinking about these price targets. Again, like if we hit 3 cents, you think, oh, we'll just get a 2x past 3, we'll top out at 4. No, it doesn't make sense to me. So I'm a little excited. I'm probably going to go in maybe I don't like, I guess, my personal price predictions because I don't want to influence your decision on what you want to do. But I just don't see price just staying around 50 cents and going to $1.50. I don't think doesn't make sense to me. If anything, if you look at past charts and past performance, most of this area is gonna get eaten up. So this with my mouse that I'm showing here on EHEX right here, which if we eat that area up, I mean let me make sure I'm on log first. Okay, I'm on logarithmic. This is just a line on a chart. Other lines I've had. I mean, you kind of follow the line. I mean, that's like, I'm looking at it and you're like, dude, that's almost $40. I mean, really 40? Because most people think we're just going to come to right around here, $1.50. Like, oh, we'll go to $1.50. But look at the distance. Like, you really think we're going to build up all this room, come to $1.50 and just stop at $1.50? I don't think that's going to happen, man. I don't know where it's going, but I think $1.50 is a way low. I mean, some people right now are going to be super excited if they get 50 cents. But then again, if you listen to old people talk about Hex from the past, about it being at like being at 1 cent, nobody thought it could get to 50 cents. And then Richard Hart, he says, what's 10 cents on the way to 100? So I have pretty good high expectations for where I think Hex is going to go, which is why I would stress to you as an investment decision, it's a good thing to get. I mean, there's other stuff there. Like, you can go play. I'm not going to tell you what to play. I am going to say I feel like a bunch of it is crap. You're just better off buying something that's been proven, something that has years and years of consistency. It doesn't mean you're going to make money, because you still, at the end of the day, have to make the decision, where you sell, where you're going to take your profits, and what's best for you, what's best for your family, what's best for your financial decision. Ultimately, all of you listening and anybody tuning in, the last thing you want to do is basically round trip the entire bag. Nobody, I've done that with other crap, and man, it's painful. It is a painful experience. It's indescribable. I can't explain it. But regardless of that, it's like, I don't want to do that again. So just be realistic. Be realistic about your expectations. Look at this as if you look at it as a long-term investment, even past 2025, right? Because if we're going into the bull, my hypothesis is we'll see the top of prices within this year. We'll have that big old push, and then I really feel, I don't know why I feel this way, but I feel like January, February of 2025, we're going to be at the top of what Hex can do. Like, that's it. We'll be at the top, and then from there, it's going to start trailing. I made a funny joke because I told my wife, I was like, if your mom, your brother, and your sister, and everybody else starts talking about cryptocurrency, and they start talking about Hex, and they start talking about the documentary, like, don't tell them that, like, most of them, I don't even think they know that Richard Hart follows me on Twitter. Like, they probably have no idea that I get followed by these, that I'm actively in this. But I was telling them, yeah, don't tell them that stuff. Just tell me that they're telling you about crypto, because that, to me, I feel would be a top signal. If the guy on the phone at your job is just telling you that I just bought 10,000 Hex, hey, maybe something might happen with it. If you're starting to hear stuff like out in the ether, which is why I love Twitter, because Twitter was insane in 2021. I mean, it was like post, coin here, coin there. It was very, very, very active, very, very sporadic. I'm looking for those type of things, but I feel like the top's coming in January, February. The rest of this year, from now to whenever, is whatever. And whatever Hex decides to do, this area, as long as we're in this area, I don't care what you're putting in. It's I would say it's a good investment from an investment perspective. Again, no financial advice. I make music. I make house music. I play video games. I'm just a dude out here, like, expressing my life in this vlog, in this thing. And if it strikes a chord, I really hope it helps you. What I'm going to talk about is, for someone who doesn't have a lot of money, the bridge, in my opinion, yes, there's zero fees, but the bridge, really, I would utilize the bridge for PulseChain probably for over 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, when you start getting to multiple thousands of dollars, because the savings that you'll get in bridging it over, and the security you'll get is a lot better. But let's just say, like me, I just want to DCA $200 in. There's this site that I use. You do not have to use this site. It's at this buypls.app.com. So what I basically do is I go on to I go to my wallet, and I just buy ETH directly to my wallet, right? You can do that like with MoonPay, these different organizations, and you can buy Ethereum with a credit or debit card. And so I'll buy whatever amount of Ethereum I can afford at the point or at that time, which normally, like I said, it's a couple $100. And so what this is, or basically what it represents, let's see if I can get this to just a million PLS. All right, that's perfect. Because a million PLS, I think right now is probably about, what is the price on PLS? What is the price? I think it's like 4 zeros to an 8. 4 zeros to an 8. So if you got yourself a million PLS right now, a million PLS is $80. So let's say you got $80 you want to put in. What you do is you buy buy like basically buy $100 worth of ETH, and then I come to this website and I'll click this exchange. This is going to pop up, and so now it's going to give you some information. So if you don't understand cryptocurrency, DeFi, and how it works, it best behoove you. If you don't know how to install a MetaMask wallet, I would not do this unless you understand the process. So what you do, your payout address is going to be the address in your actual cryptocurrency, your wallet. So in all of your MetaMask wallets, you've got an address. You'll take your address, you'll paste it here. Okay. And so kind of give an idea. I don't want to dox myself, but I'm just going to just paste random numbers. Is it going to take it? Oh, it's got to be a valid address. How do I get an address? I just need a crap address. 1 second, folks. I'll be back after this quick black to black. All right, we back in this. Got a fake address here. This is just a trash address. There's nothing in this account. It's just nothing. It's an account I don't use, but just for the purpose of showing you what will happen. So you'll put in your MetaMask wallet payout address. This basically is where you're going to send the ETH and they're going to send the PLS to your address here. So it's not like after you bought the ETH, this is not like it's not an exchange. It's basically like a wallet transfer, and you pay a minor fee in PLS to do a small wallet transfer without a whole bunch of extra fees. So you click next, and then once you're kind of here, there's some terms you can read. It says estimated arrivals about 10 minutes on average. I'll get my PLS in like 5 minutes. 3 or 4 to 5 minutes is about how long it takes. Click exchange. Now it's going to give you this address. This is very important. When you go to your wallet, like when you're going to send things or send or receive. So when you're inside your wallet, you're going to send the 0.5 ETH to this address. I just copy like that. You can also do the copy. I don't use this. I just copy it, and then I go to my MetaMask wallet, and then I go to my ETH, and I click send. And then you're going to send 0.005 ETH to this address. Once you send it, this will start confirming. It will exchange it, and then it'll send you the PLS to your wallet. So you want to make sure you've got the PLS blockchain installed to your MetaMask or whatever wallet you're using so that you can see that ultimately happen. But this is I'm just showing you guys this. You don't have to use this. This is what I've been doing, because it's a lot cheaper for me to just get on my phone, buy ETH right on my phone. Once I get paid $100, go ahead, log on my computer, and then do this. And it's real quick. I don't have to I don't put it in the bridge. I don't have to wait for it to go through the bridge if the bridge gets clogged up, because they're trying to put mostly what you're seeing, millions of dollars go through the bridge. This is just a way to get on PLS without having to tie up thousands of dollars, like literally for working stiffs like you and me. A couple of hundred here, a couple of hundred there, maybe 1,000. I wouldn't personally do 1,000 through here. If I'm going to do anything more than $1,000, I'm going to go through like Coinbase, just because it's connected right to my bank. And then I'm going to send that money in ETH to my wallet and do this and then do the bridge. Basically, I'm not going to use this at all. I'm just going to bridge it over. So hope that helps some of you guys with onboarding. I don't know if it helps you guys if not, shoot. What was the cost of so $100 right now is only going to get you 6,000 hex right now. It could come back down. It could get back to 10. But at the current point, I think 10,000, if you would have got 10,000, you'd be up $52, right? You could stake it 30 days, whatever the heck. Again, like I said, man, I'm thinking Most of my stakes are within a year time frame, 365 days. That's about what I'm doing. My price prediction, all right, screw it. My price prediction, and this is me. This is what I personally think will happen. And I was thinking $10. I know, beat me over the head. I don't care. It's just, I really feel with the push, because of the fact that it's cheaper, because the fact that we have a documentary, like we have everything built right now. It's literally just an empty building with all the tools and everything's there. It's just people just haven't figured it. They haven't discovered it yet. They haven't come up across a $300, $400, $500 ETH transaction fee yet, and they just bought some coin because they were working stiff. They put $300 in. The coin went to like $100,000, but then they can't get enough ETH to move the money around or sell it, because Ethereum transfer fees are going to be ridiculous, because that's coming. So my hypothesis is, like, I'm thinking $10, and the way that I look at it is that every $100 I was putting in here was going to be worth $100,000. Like that's just how I'm looking at it. You call me what you want. Call it moon math. Call it what. Some people are saying the price prediction is $1.50. Like I said, I don't feel like we're stopping. That doesn't make sense to me. $1.50 isn't that bad either. $1.50 is, at the same token, that $100 I put in is could be worth $16,000 if I stake it for 365 days. Or what if I just went on a 30-day roll? How much extra money would I make on, every time I staked it every 30 days? Hey, extra $96 because I could print an extra hex and it's worth $1.50. So there's benefits to it, right? Long-term staking, more money, right? It's an extra $1,000 you could gain on it. But the biggest thing about the staking, which I'm using, which is why I'm using it right now, is that when you stake it, those rules, like, remember I talked about the 50% clause, as far as 90% clause, like how to end your stakes. Matter of fact, let me just bring that up. Let me bring that up real quick. All right, back real quick. I don't know if I edited this. I'll probably just leave the black in because it's only a few seconds anyway. But please get familiar with these penalties, because, again, if you do 180 days or less, you still have to complete you got to complete 90 days to get your principal. That's 180 days. If you do over 180 days, like 360 days, 365 days, you have to be 50% completed on the stake. You can't be less than 50. Otherwise, you're going to take these penalties. So the reason I'm kind of pointing these out, again, life happens. If you put in a stake right now and you're doing 65 days, or you're going to do 90 days, you want to print some extra money. At the 45th day mark, if the price is at a point where you're like, man, I need to get some of that principal out, this is going to be important to you. If you have an emergency, that's why it's called an emergency in stake. So when you're making these contracts with yourselves, some people say, oh, you get Hex, you got to stake it. Not everybody stakes it. Some people are liquid. Play the game how you want to play the game. Just be very familiar with these particular rules and penalties, because you'll see a lot of people post on Twitter. They're like, oh, I staked my such and such on Twitter, and then I pull it out, it went to 0. Well, you weren't freaking familiar with the freaking penalties of why. It's not 90 days on 360 days. It's 90 days on less than 180 days. It's not, 365 days. You got to go half the year. Like for a lot of stakes I put in, the contract I made with myself, I got to go half 6 months. I got to go half the year before I can touch it if I need it. So keep that in mind and be serious. So that's all I got to say, man. Make good decisions. Try to stay away from the negativity. Screw all the noise, what everybody's saying. Don't get into the FOMO. Just realistically understand anywhere in this zone, before we get past 3 cents is a golden opportunity. Whether you're and you're basically DCNA. So if we go back down, that's great. Like I said, I'm looking at it like this: every $100 I put in is going to be worth a lot of money at the end of the bull. And I'll say this before I close out: for most of us, 6 figures is life changing, and 6 figures with cryptocurrency at the end of a bull is more than enough money to wait for the bear market to play itself out, and then come back in and buy the things that you love. So that's all I'm gonna say. Screw this accredited investors crap for Twitter. Just make smart decisions. Don't do dumb stuff. But peace out. Yeah, I'm gonna get to it. It's gonna be an interesting year. Talk to you guys later. Bye.